Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to wherever you are. So I hope everybody is doing fine. And so we do have few people on board watching us live. So quickly, guys, if you can hear me, just post a comment in the comment section box over here that you can hear me and you can see me fine, so that we can begin right away, guys. Great. So I happen to have received few private messages. Great then. So hello, and it's already a welcome to see that Anshul has already asked Anshul has already posted few questions on the comment box. So definitely, Anshul, we are going to address this jump of 600 to 700 in a very detailed way. So for most of the people, if you're not aware, Ankur is scored a 710, and it is a huge jump from 630, and it was mostly powered from verbal improvement, right? And this jump has been from V27 to a V40. So it's a significant jump in verbal from 13 point. And we're going to see, and we're going to listen to Ankur, how did he manage to get that jump in just one go. So a warm
Yeah.
welcome, Ankur, and hello, everybody. We
Hello.
have Ankur live board, Ankur on board now. So, hi, Ankur. Great. Congratulations for getting such a great score. And since this is a huge jump, so how did you feel about getting this V27 to V40, and then crossing the barrier of 700 in just one go?
It was amazing feeling to see the V40 in the after the exam, and you see the V40. I was after giving the exam, I was feeling like I will get a V35 plus for sure, but V40 I was not expecting. But yeah, it felt amazing.
Great. So you got more than expectation.
Yeah.
That's a rare thing. But then, uh, I think it was well served because you managed. Because I have spoken to you personally as well, and you focused more on the strategy part. And I think that was one of the beautiful things that you followed and changed on your next route of preparation. Great, Ankur. So that makes complete sense. Now, um, before we begin and delve into further into deep into this section as to what strategies or what actually helped you get there, why don't you tell us more about yourself? What do you do, and how did you help ended up giving GMAT?
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to give GMAT like for a long time. So I wanted to do an MBA. So firstly, basically, I completed my BTech in 2016, and I was doing something with the my project called a Smart Earphone. My research paper got published, so I was on the entrepreneur side of thing, but that startup got failed. So I joined Infosys, but that MBA thing was in my mind to do for a long time. So after 3 years of working around 2019, I got serious about it. Okay, now I can apply to some colleges for MBA. I wanted to do some MBA after getting some experience. So that's how I started. And right now I'm working in John Deere, which is a manufacturing company, US based, basically deals in tractors. And I have a 5 years and 5 months of IT experience now. And apart from it, I like to do martial arts. I have played till national and got selected for Indian team also in 2019. And that's it. And basically GMAT journey started from there, like from in 2019. And then I got serious about GMAT after a year. Basically around end of 2019 I got serious. Okay, I need to start preparing for it. And then around June of 2020 I actually started studying for the GMAT and given my first attempt around December 2020.
Great, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
can definitely see the martial spirit coming into the GMAT prep as well, because getting a 630 and then getting straight 700 plus crossing that barrier, and then huge jump from V27 to V40. That's that has to be the martial spirit in it. So let's actually delve in further. What apart from martial spirit helped Ankur get forward to it, because uh, so Ankur, in the next part we are going to in the whole webinar, and let's structure this conversation so that people get the most out of it, right? So we're going to be focusing upon what actually helped you get there, right? So why don't
Sure.
we start from the very first point when you gave your first attempt, right? And unfortunately you were not able to succeed. So what did you think? What do you think, that you were not, why do you why were you were not able to attain that dream score for the very first time? So what do you think went wrong the first time, and what did you do right the next time?
So firstly, I will say I started like like what we do in 10th standards. Like we started the RD Sharma, and we try to do 50 questions in a stretch. Okay, I need to complete 50 question, and I need to complete every question in 2 minutes. So I prepared like that, and that I don't think is a correct way to prepare now. It's not about how many questions you solved or how many practice question you do. Like 50 question, 100 question a day, it's not about it. And that's, I think, the biggest mistake I did in my first attempt.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. So now you know that, if only practicing questions would not work. So what was the ideology behind your mind? Like, okay, what you need to do now? Were there any, suggestions from recommendations from other people that you got, or did you introspect and come up onto a conclusion that, okay, this is what I need to do this time? X is, or something like, I have to change this. So what
Yes.
that change was?
So basically, what happened? I did one seminar of GMATWhiz from
Okay.
Piyush, and I see like how. And then I did one seminar with Sunita on
Okay.
YouTube. It's a free seminar, and
Hmm.
then I learned like how much difference there is about. And then I took that free course that GMATWhiz provide, and there was
Hmm.
a huge skill gap. And I remember after getting 6:30 and watching these two videos, I mailed Piyush that otherwise we have to take an appointment. I said like urgent help
Hmm.
required, and he called me directly at that day itself. And he guided me that you can prepare it like this, and you can take our course and try a free version and then upgrade it. And then I thought of, I will just complete the course in 30 days and again give the attempt. I was just, and then when I started preparing the SC part, and then I felt like there is a huge gap to fill to get a good score. So then after SC preparation, like a little bit of preparation, I thought, okay, this is not something can be done in like 10 days or 20 days. I need a stretch of 60 days to complete the whole course, 60 to 70 days, and then I can give the exam. So I little bit paused there, and then I started. Then some personal thing happened, so I was not able to
Hmm.
start my preparation. And then I again tried to start in March, but after a month, April, May, has gone COVID. My family got sick and I got sick, so it disrupted my studies again. And then in June, I got to know about a crash course that GMATWhiz was providing for 3 months. Then I took that course where Sunita, teaches the verbal section. So I took that course, and that course really helped me because that structured everything for me. So like today I have to read this, and this week I have to complete this much exercise I have to do, this much video I have to do. So everything got structured. And after that, in the weekends, she do the advanced questions, and also she was literally go line by line and teach you how to read first line, then you have to how to connect that second line to the first line, like step by step. Every question takes around 10 to 15 minutes to solve. But once you do those 5 6 questions, it changes, like something changes, I will say.
Your thought
And
process maybe.
yeah, that thought process changes, like how to approach the question actually, and that becomes a habit after solving some questions. So it's not about number of questions, it's about how you solve those questions. Like
Solve the
if you are
questions.
even doing 10 or 20 questions, that's also fine, but you have to do the by the right methodology. That's one thing I learned.
Great, great. So that's great to know that, just by conducting free sessions and, talking to GMATWIZ team, you were able to realize that, you have to change things in your thought process or the way you approach the, questions. So that makes complete sense. And I think that would have been one of the reasons that you might have went for GMATWIZ, right? So when you as you said that you finally enrolled for GMATWhiz after consulting people and trying out the free trial. So let's divide these sections into different categories. So let's begin from the scratch. Sentence correction. So you initial part of the conversation as well, you mentioned about sentence correction. So can you describe in detail what actually helped you out in there, and what changed your thought process? What was that strategy? So how were you solving it earlier, and what you changed, how you solve it now?
Okay. So I will start from like very start. So I come from a very weak background. Like I have done my education like till 10th or 12th in Hindi medium. So that's why my English is not at the perfect level. Even I didn't know that you have to add s at verbs to make it singular. I thought it was plural. So I was at that level. In the first preparation I got to know a little bit about it, but there was the cramming kind of a thing at that level. But when I got to the GMATWhiz platform, and with the course crash course I have taken, the, the thing I learned is, in SC question you have to go slow, and you have to understand every point what the that line trying to say, and you have to dissect every bit of the thing. And the pausing methodology of the GMAT, which like they tell you where to pause in the sentence. Like everybody can say like you have to go slow, but where to stop, how to like if it is a ed vowel then you have to stop, and then you have to think about it, like which ed vowel, like is it a verb, and if it's a verb what's the subject. And it seems like it's a big process, but it by the time when you solve it, it becomes a habit of yours. You just read it and your mind will naturally do these things. So that helped me a lot by dissecting the sentence, and relating it back, and where to pause, and how to read the whole sentence. So that's the one of the major learning I will say from the course.
Great, great. So basically, it's all about dissecting the sentence in logical parts and then assessing meaning at those frontiers and then moving forward. So rather than rushing through the sentence, reading them in one go, right? So that that is how you move on. So why
Right.
do you think because most of the people ask me this question, yeah, hey Rajiv, I'm going to follow this part, but then the question comes to my mind. My concern is that how will I manage time? Wouldn't this strategy take more time to solve questions, and I might end up not solving many questions at all, right? So what do you think, how it helps you in time management?
So basically, at first, it gonna take times. As I said, in our classes, also one question takes 15 minutes to solve. That's a lot of time in the GMAT. If you consider the GMAT exam, but when you do it for a like solve by that methodology, just give it a go. I will say, I also was not totally convinced like this will work, but I was like, okay, I will follow this. And after 15 to 20 days you will automatically feel it, the difference, because the things when you are dissecting it at start, you are training yourself like, okay, I need to stop there, I need to stop there. But by time it will become habit of you will automatically pause for a millisecond there. Just if I see the ed verb,
Mhm.
I will stop there for a millisecond. If now see a ing thing, then I will stop there for a millisecond. So it becomes a habit kind of a thing after some time. So
So
and it
that
will
makes
drastically save your time in longer run.
that makes sense. That makes complete sense. So let's delve onto the the another part of the verbal that you also mentioned that could have that helped you a lot. So when you were proficient at, say, a sentence correction question, then I think you told me that the another topic that that should come chronologically is CR, critical reasoning, right? So what do you think helped you out there in critical reasoning? So how were you faring earlier, and then how did you improve it?
So in CR earlier I was like, read the whole thing fast. So just read it, and then I was giving the time to the options, and then I don't understand the option, then I read the
Prompt
premise
again.
again. Yeah. So that was not a good strategy. You have to read the question premise, and every you have to find it out the what's the premise, what the conclusion, and you have to understand what type of question it is. It's a plan goal question, it's a calculation based question, or it's a casualty question, a cause or effect type of questions, and those kind of methodology is already there in the course, which helps you identify what kind of question it is. And once you get what kind of question it is, then there are methodology in the course itself which tells you if it's a plan goal, what you need to think for the solution. uh, and then you just, and it seems like a big process, but it is actually not. uh, so you think about those on those lines, like whatever said in the course. If it is a plan goal question, then you will think along those lines. And then uh, when you are reading the options, it will not take much time, because whatever you thought, 60 to 80% of time you will find that in the answer itself, so you will just mark it and go ahead. So so that's, a huge time saving kind of thing, if you
Great.
pre-think your answers.
Great, that makes sense. So, most of the time we see people pre-thinking and they tell me, okay, so if I have to pre-think, so what do you think pre-thinking actually mean? Because most of the time people ask me this question, I know pre-thinking, and when I'm pre-thinking, I'm asking this question to myself, something related to like back tracing the logic, like what it
Mhm.
author could have done. Is this the right way? Is this what you used to do earlier and you changed?
So basically, whatever the like, for example, if it's a causality effect question, so there are like five things what I need to ask, that's given the course itself. Like, I need to ask if the effect is not done by the like, so conclusion is not doing the premise, and these kind of four five things I need to ask. So that comes into mind really quickly once you get hold of it. Okay. And then in some questions there will be where you will not find those kind of whatever you have pre-think is not in the answer, and sometimes you will not be able to pre-think. In that case, just go with the option. But whenever you can pre-think along on those lines, what I seen is 60 to 80% time you will find the answer, and that's a huge
Huge.
huge
Yes.
percentage. And when you are giving the exam, whatever you're thinking, you're getting in the option, and you're just marking, and it's a huge leverage for the time.
Exactly. So the confidence that you have and the time that you reduce, because earlier, because in that the other way of pre-thinking that you were describing, most of the time what happens is when you move on to the options part, you end up getting, spending more time in option analysis as well. So
Correct.
rather than spending that time in option analysis, why not spend that time in prompt analysis and then,
Correct.
move into the option part once you're confident about what you're looking for. So that actually reduces your time, makes you more confident of marking the option choices. That makes complete sense. So you beautifully described these two different approach in the sentence correction question and CR that helped you move from V27 to V40. So do you think there were other some changes that you might have done in RC as well? Because as you mentioned, you are a non-native speaker and it was very difficult for you to get a hold on verbal itself. So what do you think you changed? Because from what I can concur is your reading speed might have been also slow, right? So
Yes.
what would you, yeah, so what did you do to, get cross that hurdle of reading speed and understanding the comprehension, so all those sorts of things.
So earlier my reading speed is slow. Okay. And I what I analyze is you can't increase your reading speed in 30 days. What or 60 days, or it takes time to increase your reading speed, right? And in the first attempt, what I was trying to do is try to read the paragraph as quickly as possible and just go to the question. But that's the wrong approach. What I think now is, basically you have to slowly read the paragraph and you have to understand the paragraph. Basically you have to there is a course as involved and evolved reading inside the curriculum. And I was also expecting, like, I was not when I started it, I didn't believe it, okay, it will work. But I just go with the process, and okay, I will trust it. And then already I have a slow reading speed. So that also, like, I thought, okay, why not just try to do it. But that helped me to understand the paragraph. I will read a line and then I will understand that line. In the real exam itself, in one passage, I remember in the second paragraph I have to read it two times because I was not able to understand it. But I
Hmm.
gave that time, and I was not worried about the time at that moment also, because I trust the process. And after I understand it, I was able to solve all the four questions very quickly. So you save time if you understand the paragraph. And I think the passage is a really good thing to score, because if you understand the RC, then you are going to score out of four question, you are going to score all the fours. If you understand the RC correctly, then there is no chance of going wrong in that. So that becomes my strength. Earlier it was the my major weakness.
Muy business. Great. That's an awesome story. That's quite an inspiring note that you put in, right? Because if you put more focus on passage, that's how you're going to go about the questions. And the very good point that you pointed out is that RC is the most scoreable section because you have all the answers there in front of you. It's just that you have to look the right way, right?
Correct.
So, because most of the people think that, RC is the least scoring section and that it troubles them a lot. But it's good to know from your end, right, that RC, which was one of your major weaknesses, is now one of your strengths. So that's great to know. So apart from the strategy part in different sections, were there any course related features specifically which helped you transform your weaknesses into strengths?
So firstly, I will say course structure is brilliant. Like it is for someone like me who is a beginner, and it goes to the expert level. Like it's structured very good. Quizzes are really great. Whatever quizzes are there, and I think the GMATWhiz course plus the OG and whatever you have in the course written, like do this question of the OG. If you do that only, you will get a 700 plus. If you just follow the process, you don't have to even go to any other material, because you don't need any other material than that. Like it's sufficient. And and it's very interactive. Yeah, I will suggest, if someone has not taken the course, I will suggest just go and see the free part, and you will see that how different it is, like from the regular education what we get. It's very different from it. And you read one thing and then you get a quiz on it. So what it does is, you don't have to memorize, it will just come naturally to you. You just read something, you do a quiz about it, and that help. And then again you do a cumulative quiz. So that is really good. Then there is a section, as as a quiz itself, where you can mix your quizzes. Whatever your weak section is, you can take select that topic and solve those kind of quizzes. So I think the module is like really good, and that module plus the OG is more than sufficient for your preparation. That like what I felt.
Great, that makes sense. That can make complete sense. So how do you think was AI able to provide fruitful results to your preparation or in terms of monitoring?
Yes, it's helpful, and there is a section where it predicts your score. So it was predicting 710, and I got 710. So I think AI is working fine in your portal.
Great, great. So score predictability was almost 100% accurate. Generally,
Yeah.
what we
Yes.
see, right? So that's one of the major concerns that people encounter, and they ask the question that how much how do how much your mocks or how much your score predictor is close to what official GMAT is, right? So and it's good to hear from people, from the students themselves, from the aspirant themselves, that it's almost as close as possible. Great to
Correct.
hear
Correct.
that part. So what do you think would you like to give as advice to working professionals? Because I think Ishwar Chandra has also asked a similar kind of question, that are you a working professional? And I think you have already answered that question in the initial part of the conversation, right? You've been working for, I think, 5+ years, right? And
Correct.
Ishwar, one more point to add. Ankur is working in a very hectic job with 60+ hours of week, right? Am I right, Ankur? Right. So
Correct. Correct.
yes,
Correct.
that's there. So and with that, he managed this humongous jump in the GMAT score. And speaking about the advice, Ankur, I think I should hand over the mic to you. That what would be your advice to working professionals such as you towards GMAT prep?
I think the continuity is the most important thing. You have to study. If you even study like 45 minutes on that, someday maybe you don't have the time. Just study for 45 minutes. Cover it next day. So I will say every day 2 hours is fine, but someday you lose some time, someday you do some extra stuff. Plus, what happened with me personally, I was a candidate for that crash course for 3 months. So everything got organized properly, because GMATWhiz has provided me a structure. What day I have to do what, like by this week I have to do this. I have a target in mind, and according to target I will just adjust my schedule. If I have some time in the morning, I will read in the morning. If I have some time in the evening, I will try to complete that in the evening. Sometime I'm not able to totally complete the course. After the weekend, I have the class on Saturday, Sunday. Sometime I was not able to complete the course. So what I will do, I will just complete all the lectures, left the quizzes, some of the quizzes I do concept booster I have left, and after the classes I will do the concept boosters. So you can, be flexible about it, but it is manageable even if you do 2 hours per day. And for me it was, structured very well with the GMATWhiz program. Like, what I need to do is, I already know what I need to do, and I have a target, and according to the target I was, doing everything. So that went really good for me. So I will suggest something like that would be a
Great.
really good option.
Thank you, Ankur, for such kind words and appreciation. So, Ankur, I think we have another question from Anshul. But before we move on to the question part, um, I think this takes us to the last part of the section, guys, and we are finally into the into the domain where you guys have the stage to yourself, and the audience can ask the question, right? So, all to you now, audience, and you people can ask as many questions you want to see. Okay, how to get from a 630 to a 710 with an 80-point jump in just one go, right? So most of the questions have been covered in a very structured and strategy form way, right? But in case we might have missed on to some things, so I see one question from Anshul, who asks that what is the best preparation for GMAT to achieve good scores? What would be your call on that?
So I will say go with the GMATWhiz platform. If you have a, what kind of window you have, I don't know. If you have a 6 month window, you can take the whole course. And if you are already studying, you have already know a little bit about the concept, then you can go with their crash course. I don't know the, what's right now it's happening or
Stage.
not. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's for 3 months, and that's best. What I will say, because you will get, a proper preparation. That, so you have the targets, till this week you have to do this, and you have a class. Then next week you have to do this, then you have a class. So that will, structured your preparation on GMAT,
Preparation.
and that will, help you get a really good GMAT score. Yeah.
Great, that makes complete sense. So great. I think Anshul also happens to have another question. So, which says that his last question is that it's a very expensive exam. It indeed is, Anshul. We all agree that with that with you. So, can easy trick to achieve good scores, and also can you tell how average achieve good scores, and percentile to receive calls? Okay, so I don't think Anshul there would be an easy trick. What would be your call, Ankur, on that?
there
Is there an easy
there is
trick?
there is no easy trick. I tried easy trick and failed
Okay.
630. So so there
There
is
is no
no
easy trick.
none.
Nice call.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and it's not that, even like, it's not that hard. If you have a structured preparation, you will get there, like what I feel.
Right.
And
And for the
what's
second
this?
question, I would like to take a call on that, Ankur, if right. So, look, what you're trying to ask, Anshul, essentially is, I think, if I got the question right, that how much an average candidate would score, right? So there is no limit, because look, GMAT is not an exam which tests you on. Specific abilities related to, let's say, any technical abilities, right? So it's not that exam. It is only testing you on logic and problem solving approach, right? So it's using only structured thought process, the way you approach a problem. It's just testing you on that. As long as you have the right awareness to solve the question, and by awareness I mean the way you approach a question, the way you approach a problem, as long as you are aware of the right strategy, right thing, I don't think there is any limit or there is any specific word which I would refrain myself from using, which is a weak student or an average student. Because in context of GMAT, I don't think, because Ankur has defied, I think, all the bars that anybody else can think of. As he said that he himself was from is a native speaker, and he used to struggle at differentiating in verbs at plural and singular level as well. But then he managed a V27 to V40 point jump, which indeed is remarkable and which itself proves the point, right? So I think that would be it, for answering this question. Um, Great. I think so. Those are the many questions. Those are the only questions that we have on board, right? So it was great talking to you, Ankur, and it was a quite inspiring story. The way you explained it was quite structured. Thank you for helping out all the students over here. But before we close off this session, guys, so what we can do is, if you have any queries or personal queries regarding your GMAT preparation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a link on the chat in the comment section box, which is also visible on the screen. So what you can do is you can click on this link, and you can schedule a free consultation call with our GMAT experts. Here, here the team, my team experts will connect with you to understand your pain areas, that what is the area that you are struggling in for your GMAT preparation, irrespective of the fact whether you are a fresher or you are preparing from, at a certain level, or you have retaken the exam. From that level, we are going to analyze your performance, and then we're going to suggest you strategies that how you can take it forward from there. So you can directly click on this link, book the next session for yourself free of cost, and that's how we can proceed forward. In uh, Under this instance, as Ankur mentioned, if you want, you can also go on and try a free GMATWhiz course to test the product itself, right? So great, Ankur. I think that would be it. So let's say goodbye to the people, and then we can take it forward from there, right?
Yeah, it was really nice talking to you, Rajiv, and all of us and all of you. Best of luck for your preparation. Thank
Great,
you.
great. Thank you, Ankur. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Bye.